chapter 1. James chapter 1. I'm just going to read 2 verses in your hearing. James chapter 1. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. I want to talk to you for a few moments. I see you, Sister Howard. God bless you. I want to talk to you for a few moments, just about 10 or 15 minutes, from the topic, I was changed because of my challenge. When we wake up on Monday morning, when we go back to work, when we go back into whatever our routine is, we are faced with challenges. Sometimes before you get out the door at home, you're faced with challenges. When you look at your phone this morning, you might have had missed calls, missed emails, text messages, etc., all representing some type of challenge of what's going on in your life. But as we look through where we've been in the past few months of quarantine, during the midst of this virus, in the midst of all the injustice that's going on, we've all had our fair share of challenges. But my question to the Lord was, yes, I'm going through quite a few things at once, but what should my response be? And what I've learned is that our response to challenge should be change. Our response to what is challenging us should be us becoming better because of what we have gone through. I like the comparison of things not getting you bitter, but allowing them to make you better. And what I came to encourage you, what I came to motivate you on, is utilize the challenges that you're facing in life to change you for the better. A lot of times we go through things and we expect to come out the same way in which we went in. I would caution you to even think about the 3 Hebrew boys whose faith was challenged, right? When they're told, if you don't do what you're supposed to do or what we tell you to do, then we're going to throw you into a furnace. And we like to talk about the fact that the boys came out and they didn't smell like smoke. They came out, they didn't look like what they went through, because Christ was in there with them and the power of God kept them protected. But what if I submitted to you that they were changed because of the challenge that they went through? Not only did the king get a glimpse of the power of God, but even the boys' status, even their positions were changed because of the challenge that they were faced. Let me go another step further. When we go to the gym or when we participate in fitness challenges, the goal or the end result is for us not to end up the same way we were prior to that challenge, right? But we want to come out better. We want to come out weighing less. We want to come out with more vigor. We want to come out with a new routine. Your challenge is not there to cause you to give up. Your challenge is not there to cause you to go back and do the same things over and over and over again, but your challenge is there to change you or improve you. What did James say? He said, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations, or count it all joy when you're going through different situations, right? Knowing this, that the trying of your faith, your challenge is working your patience. I want to be better because of what I've gone through. I want to be better because of the things that I've seen. I want to be better because of the challenge that I face, especially when we come out overcoming it. If you face a challenge with a defeated mindset, you've already been defeated. But if you face a challenge, if you face that mountain, the preacher said yesterday, faith the size of a mustard seed can move a mountain. So what is the challenge that you're facing? How is that causing you to activate your faith? We've had to learn that God is more than what we thought he was prior to this thing coming on. Y'all remember when COVID broke out really bad and the stay-at-home orders were in place and we couldn't go here and we couldn't go there, and we're hoarding at grocery stores, we're doing this, we're doing that. It took me about 2 weeks in the midst of COVID to find one of those large quantities of toilet paper. It took a whole long time to find these different things, but when I finally obtained them, because that was the status quo, that's what everybody was doing, I learned how to ration out what I had. I learned how frozen pizzas can last a few weeks. I've learned different things because of the challenge, and it's changed my habits. Now when I'm online looking for things, I'm not constantly trying to get stuff to have stuff, right? But we learned during quarantine that we can survive off of less. We learn how to invest in the essentials. We learn how to not constantly do the things that we have to do. Why? Because we were challenged. Some of us like to go to the mall to just look around, right? Some of us like to just go window shopping at random places. Well, right now, that's really not an option. Places are opening up, but stock supplies are limited. There's a lot less that we can get our hands on. So we've learned to adjust because of the challenge in which we're going through. Sometimes you get a job and you're making a whole lot of money, and you change your mindset based off of what you're bringing in. But then comes quarantine, then comes layoff, then comes struggle, and we are then forced to adjust how we do things based off of the challenge that we are presented. I came to submit to you that we should allow our challenge to change us for the better and not allow us to get bitter. Y'all know when we talk about church hurt, when we talk about things that go on in the church, or things that go on that cause us to get bitter, that cause us to get upset, that cause us to walk away. No, maybe our challenge is there to change us for the better and improve upon what's already there. Stop trying to walk away whenever challenge comes. Stop trying to walk away whenever people try to challenge you. But we learned that there's a blessing when you stand your ground and allow your challenge to make you even more bold. I'm grateful for the opportunity to see our brother stand up and preach on yesterday, because he did so with power and authority that he probably didn't realize he had prior to that moment, because all the preparation in the world does not prepare you for performance. A lot of people like to say practice makes perfect. No, that's not necessarily true. Practice makes prepared. But even when you're prepared, there's nerves that come, there's anxiety that comes, there's a whole lot of challenges that come even when you are prepared. But allow those challenges to change you and make you better. I think over the past 2 or 3 weeks, there has been so much stress that has come on that literally, y'all see I haven't shaved my head in about 2 weeks. There's a whole lot that's going on, and I don't want these things to make me bitter. I don't want these things to cause me to get upset and ruin relationships with things and people. I don't want these things to make me bitter. I want my challenge to change me for the better. So every day I'm looking at how can I learn from what I'm going through. What lesson is there for what's happening today? What blessing is attached to this lesson? What is it, God, that you're trying to say to me? And how can I use that to better myself and to help my neighbor? I tried to incorporate some new technology into worship yesterday. I tried to incorporate, and when I practiced it, when I was at the church really early. Matter of fact, I ended up leaving the church and coming back. I'm there at like 4 in the morning trying out new technology, and everything worked the way it was supposed to. So I rested in the fact I've done the preparation. I've tried everything out. It's working. I'm not going to have any issues. It wasn't until a time came for things to be presented that we had audio issues. We had connectivity issues. Things started falling apart really quickly, and I'm running around the church like a chicken with my head cut off trying to come up with a solution. So I looked at that challenge this morning and I said, God, how can I apply those principles to where I am in life? He said, James, there are going to be things that challenge you in the midst of you thinking that you've got it all together. But watch this, you learn how to adapt, improvise, and overcome. You allow those things to not get you bitter, saying, well, see, that's why I'm not going to do that no more. See, that's not why I'm going to try that no more. Don't you realize that challenge is a part of your success? When you're working out, let's go back to that example. When you're working out, you don't constantly bench press the same amount. You don't constantly pick up the same dumbbells. You don't run on the treadmill at the same speed. But in order for there to be progress, there has to be challenge. Somebody write that down. In order for there to be progress, there has to be challenge. You've got to try something that's more difficult than what you did before. You've got to try things at a greater level so you can rise to that challenge and not fall back into the mundane. If you're constantly doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same result. But there is a blessing when you challenge yourself. There is a blessing when you allow challenges to allow you to progress or to promote you to who and what God has for you. The next level that God is taking us to, the next level that we're on our way to, is going to cause you to have to be challenged in order for the change to come in. In order for us to get where we're going, and I'm just about through, we're going to have to accept the challenge and rise to the challenge. Accept the challenge and rise to the challenge. Don't run from it, but accept it and rise to it. If it means I need to be more patient, if it means I need to pray more, if it means I need to fast more. God, whatever it is that this challenge is saying to me, I want to accept the challenge and I want to rise to the challenge. I don't want to say, oh, because of I can't. I want to rise to the challenge that's being presented so I can reap the harvest of the change that is going to bring about. Yeah, you got to really step out of your comfort zone and trust who God is. Watch this. God will show himself mighty and show himself strong if you trust him in the midst of your challenge. God will show up if you trust him in the midst of your challenge. He's already there, but I find out that he shows himself mighty when you trust him in the midst of your challenge. Trust God with the change he's trying to bring you into. Ministries are going to be challenged. Relationships are going to be challenged. If you're in a relationship with somebody, and I'm done in 3 minutes, if you're in a relationship with somebody and there's never been any challenge, there's never going to be any change. If we lived in a world where everything was what we wanted it to be, we'd never know the blessing that it is to have a challenge. If we never had to budget, we would have never learned to budget. If we never had to practice time management, we would have never learned how to manage our time. Watch this, because when you go into an unfamiliar place where you have to use skills that you never thought you were going to need, it's no excuse. I've never done it this way. It's no excuse. That's too hard for me. We've got to learn how to accept the challenge and rise to it. There is nothing that God will give you to do that is impossible. God is not going to ask you to do something that he has not equipped you to do. Watch this. You might be equipped to do it and not even realize it. Remember when the man was healed that was laying on the side of the road, and they simply said, take up your bed and walk, and there was no hands that were exchanged, no hands that were laid on, there was no crazy instructions. What it said was the man had the potential based off of the word that was given. It seemed like an impossible task. I've never walked before. I've never done this before. I haven't been well in a long time. And you're telling me to do something that I'm not accustomed to doing. But if you try to do it, if you give it that effort, you'll find out that you're blessed because of the challenge. My challenge changed me, and I'm grateful for it. I'm not who I was yesterday, and I'm grateful for it. I'm not who I'm going to be tomorrow. I'm grateful for it because I'm learning to accept the challenge and rise to the challenge instead of running from the challenge. Your challenge might be silencing some things and some people in your life. You're so used to them talking to you, you don't know what you're going to do if you can't talk to them. Your challenge might be self-care. That's one of my greatest challenges, self-care, because there's always so much to be done. But the question comes up. There might always be so much to be done, but if you don't take care of the person that's supposed to be doing it, then it's not going to get done anyway. My challenge has always been self-care, but I'm learning to rise to that challenge. Elder Hill, if you're still on here, I got my hoverboard. I'm learning to rise to the challenge. I spent money that I wanted to use somewhere else to get me something that I wanted for myself. I'm learning to rise to the challenge and allow it to change me. Am I stressed out? Believe it or not, I'm stressed beyond my mind, beyond what my mind can really process at this point. But it's not a bad stress, it's a good stress. I'm going to be all right because I'm going to accept the challenge and I'm going to rise to it. Therefore, no temptation hath taken you, but such that's common to man. With the temptation, God's going to provide a way to escape. Accept the challenge, rise to the challenge, and be changed because of your challenge. Be better because of what you've been through and what you're going through. Listen, I love each and every one of you. There's nothing you can do about it, and I'm excited about seeing who you are and what you do as your challenge changes you and betters you into who you are becoming. Don't give up on God. He's sure enough won't give up on you. Go, grow, do what you need to do. Rise to that challenge. Accept the challenge, rise to the challenge, and be changed because of the challenge. But don't walk away. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your God. Don't give up on your gift. It's 30 and change. I'm 30 and I'm changing. Whatever age you're at, you can change as well. Allow your challenge to change you and make you better. I love you. I'll talk to you.